Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's workshop, AWS Cost Control. My name is Joseph Boetes. I'm the Marketing Manager at Cloudvisor and will be your host today. With me, I have Jonas Jovisais, Cloudvisor's Customer Success Lead, who will present the workshop on cost control. Jonas, would you like to say hi to our attendees?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you and have you here. So I think we'll have a great time here today.
No, indeed. I think a very relevant and interesting topic. I hope that will add value to all of you. Just before we start, some admin points from my side. So your questions are welcome at any time during the workshop. Please submit them in the Q&A section or in the chat. We will address them throughout or after the workshop. Then also this event will be recorded, so we'll share the recording with you afterwards. Then in some other good news, you're not only going to learn about AWS cost control, but we are also going to do a little giveaway at the end of the workshop. So we are going to randomly pick one of the attendees to receive a cool Powered by AWS t-shirt. Jonas, maybe you can show yours to everyone attending.
I think it looks like it's something like this.
Yes. I also actually want one. I wish I could submit by name, but yeah, that won't be ethical, so we won't do that. But yeah, for those of you who don't know who Cloudvisor is, we are bringing you this workshop, and we are an AWS reseller and advanced tier partner who operates in Europe and beyond. One of the services that we provide, as I mentioned, is AWS Resell, and we work closely with AWS to support current and new AWS users. By switching your AWS billing to Cloudvisor, you can gain access to one of our 4 benefit packages that best suit your business. Now, these benefit packages are instant savings, where you can get an immediate 3% discount on your monthly AWS spend and a 50 to 90% discount on CloudFront service rates. The second benefit package that we have that you can choose from is Perfected Systems. Now, every time that your AWS spend accumulates to 10,000 euros, you can get 5 hours of our team's expert AWS advice at 0 additional cost. This also includes a yearly well-architected review. Then the third benefit package is quite a cool one, in my opinion. Cloudvisor will donate 4% of your monthly AWS spend to an NGO of your choice. That is any NGO. And then the fourth benefit package is real-time cloud performance observations. So our AWS experts have created a state-of-the-art monitoring system or platform that enables you to track the cloud performance, your cloud performance 24/7. So if your company is currently using AWS, or if you're thinking about using AWS, I strongly suggest you inquire about these benefit packages that we offer. Okay, enough from me. Let us start the workshop. Jonas, over to you.
All right. Without further ado, let's begin our AWS Cost Control webinar. And in it, I will very briefly cover quite a few topics, so stay with me. I will also leave a few resources for further reading, should you be interested in any particular topic. Yeah, all ready, so let's start. And I would like to begin this workshop with a famous AWS quote, which goes something like, you pay for what you use. And I think you have heard it somewhere, right? So it sounds nice and fair until you meet your AWS bill. Well, actually, you pay for what you use. It is as much misleading as it is true. I like to twist that quote so it would actually make more sense. And I think that you actually pay for what you run. And AWS bill never lies about that. Like it or not, as the customer, you're solely responsible for which resources you run in your AWS account and for the cost as well. So certain decisions can be dictated because of your workload architecture, or the architecture might have been built around the knowledge available at that moment. So the cloud space is ever evolving, and so are ways and the best practices to run cloud native workloads. And according to the best practices, not only makes your app more reliable, faster and more secure, but also cheaper to run and maintain. Another thing I see important is that you have to always learn and educate yourself about the cloud. The knowledge you will obtain will allow you to have better architectures, craft them more with more cloud-native tools, and that will lead you to more and more cost-efficient, reliable, and secure environments. And the last thing I see important is grasping philosophy of the cloud. This is this positive feedback loop of improvement. And in order to be agile in the cloud, you must learn about it through vendor certifications. For example, AWS offers Solution Architect Associate certifications and similar level exams. But then you have to put your learnings into practice and a way to measure the results across the parameters you care about. And if they are in the direction you want, go ahead and deploy them, learn something, do more tests, measure, and improve. So this positive feedback loop should be your key in the cloud, so your architectures would ever grow better and better. So yeah, cloud is not a static thing. It evolves and changes, so you have to too. Let's get back to the planet Earth and talk the real ways you could see a lower AWS bill next time you have a meeting with it. And I think we can start nowhere else but the basics. And the basics is right-sizing. This concept means that you not only run the number of instances you actually need, but also instances of the right size and type. So if your workload is light, perhaps the large instance is a waste of your resources, and a medium burstable type of instance would do just fine. Or the instance type is lacking free RAM, so it auto-scales and runs more instances than optimally would be needed. Every workload is different, therefore there are almost 400 different EC2 instance types and sizes, so you and everybody else have something for their flavor. I think you should at least familiarize yourself with general types of instances and apply the right tool for the job. And bear in mind that right-sizing is a two-edged sword. Over-provisioning resources can lead to unnecessary infrastructure cost, while under-provisioning resources can lead to poor application performance. So do that with care. Well, one place to start your journey in reducing the cost in AWS, I think AWS Cost Optimizer might be a good place. So if you don't know what to do, AWS comes to the rescue, and this service actually evaluates your current fleet configuration, utilization, and based on the usage patterns it sees, it will recommend which instances should be changed into what types and sizes. So you still retain the optimal performance. Yeah, basically this is the first stop for you to actually evaluate your infrastructure and see what type of right-sizing options you have. Here's some screenshots from the console. You see how it portrays the under-provisioned or optimized or over-provisioned instances, as well as it tracks the auto-scaling groups. Here you see a list of instances and their status, whether they over-provisioned, like how much they cost, or how they would cost if you would choose the recommendation AWS offers. And yeah, once you choose any of the instances, you see several different options to choose from, your current one and a few that AWS recommends, the price difference, and also they measure some sort of risk that is involved in changing instance from one type to another. Okay. One of the things that Compute Optimizer might offer is to change not only the size of the instance, but also the instance family altogether. And sometimes it might be Graviton as well. So what is it? AWS tirelessly presents new and improved instance families year after year. And those instances are generally up to 30% faster and more cost effective compared to last gen. Like this is like a rule of thumb. The progress pace I see as neck-breaking, therefore it pays up to stay on top of this type of announcements. And actually, AWS is so big that it happens to design its own CPUs and other chips. And to be precise, they are on the 3rd generation of their Graviton processors already. So you can look for that G letter among instance family names. So you will know that this is the AWS baked CPU. And the Graviton CPUs are based on ARM architecture, and they are not a straight bolt-on replacement to workloads running on x86 or x64 architecture. But once you have done away with the needed changes in your code and build process, you can reap those sweet gains for a long time to come. And I put a few resources on the transition to ARM for further reading if you would be interested in going that path. Another elephant in the room I must mention is reserved instances and savings plans. So RIs and SPs in short. These are the 2 most often used commitment-based methods to lower your AWS infrastructure cost. And in order to make most of it, there are a few differences between them and some nuances you'll have to know. So considering RIs, there are two main types, so the standard and convertible RIs. Standard are the classic ones. They have been with AWS for ages, it seems. They're the least flexible option, providing the biggest discounts. And as always, you have to manage that sweet risk-reward ratio. Convertible RIs can be exchanged into other types of convertible RIs, meaning that you can have flexibility for instance families, operating system tenancies, while standard RIs can only be moved across one availability zone and another. Both of these have instance size flexibility, which means that you can cover 2 small instances or 1 instance double the size with the same RI. One last thing to mention about the standard RIs is that they are the only ones that can be sold into a RIs marketplace. So you have some sort of way out of that inflexible savings option should you choose to. And the RIs can be applied to EC2. However, there are not so obvious RIs available for RDS, Elasticache, Elasticsearch, OpenSearch, and Redshift. So have that in mind if you run these services and you're using RIs, perhaps you might benefit from RIs applied to these services as well. And AWS RIs recommendations can be found under reserved instances purchase recommendations in Cost Explorer should you look for that. Now looking at SPs, there are also 2 main types, the compute and EC2 instance SPs. Compute SPs are what we recommend to our customers the most. They're the most flexible options between RIs and SPs. You can change instance types, families, sizes, regions, tenancies, operating systems, almost everything. Having compute SPs, your infrastructure can grow and evolve without much friction while maintaining a healthy savings margin. So it's a good thing. Also, as a bonus, they cover EC2, Lambda, and Fargate usage. On the contrast, EC2 instance SPs are much more restrictive, similar to standard RIs, but without the option to sell them. So we rarely recommend them. There are also SageMaker SPs that provide up to 64% of that service. However, their usage seems to be quite niche in our experience. One interesting difference between RIs and SPs is that RIs cover instances, while SPs cover usage expressed in dollars per hour. So this is a bit of a change to the users that would purchase RIs previously. And the small catch is that you need amount of SPs in dollars per hour after SP discount, which is not very intuitive to know. So here at Cloudvisor, we always help our customers to save the most by assisting them with calculations and recommendations to purchase the right amount they need. There, of course, are many other ways to save. I cannot cover all of them. I can briefly just mention a few more in the slide. So For example, spot instances, if your workloads are able to sustain losing an instance, you can benefit from very high discount rates for running your instances on spot fleets. So these are the unprovisioned capacity of AWS Cloud that is offered at steep discounts. So you can, like, if your circumstances are right, you can actually save quite a bit. The next thing would be scheduling your non-production resources. For example, if you know that your developers work on developing instances from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., why not schedule them and save half the cost? And regular resources cleanup is like housekeeping. You should have this activity among your team every month or quarter. So you would go through every resource and see whether it's still needed or is there just sitting there abandoned and incurring cost. So as I mentioned, there are many ways to save cost, and Cloudvisor, as an AWS partner, offers its customers free yearly cost optimization reports. And we use our extensive experience and cloud management platform to craft personalized cost optimization report based on the actual customer's infrastructure. And we are looking at rightsizing, idle and unused resources, possibilities to save by purchasing commitment-based savings like RIs and SPs, newer instances and storage generation savings, and other ways to reduce your bill. And we also do a multitude of best practices check and provide a list of things that are worth taking a look at. So I think it's a very good starting point to lower your AWS cost. Okay, so once you have sorted out the right size and type for your instances, the next best thing is to make sure that those instances are serving your customers with the data they request. And that sounds trivial, right? And then the best practice is to always have your resources highly available, meaning running in at least 2 physically different locations. And in AWS scope, that would mean in 2 different IZs that are in the same region. Another autoscaling benefit is having the ability to launch additional instances in response to higher demand. It is a life and cost saver at once. First, your application does not lag and perform as fast as possible. And second, you don't pay for the additional capacity once that demand drops. And the best part is it's fully automated. There are quite a few cogs to turn and switches to flip, but in short, to make autoscaling happen, first you have to create an autoscaling group, then add your fleet there, set minimum and maximum fleet size, point to the load balancer, and leave the rest to AWS. Another quote I like is that you get what you measure. So if you want to have a lower AWS bill, at least you have to know how it comes together. So the first step into dissecting that final figure is to get back to the roots of it, so the actual usage. So the AWS Cost Explorer is a great visual tool that lets AWS customers slice and dice your current spend and get the idea where the money is going. So you can filter through different parameters like service, region, account, resources, or tags, and visualize that to make sense. Here are a few dashboard screenshots that show you how the daily costs would appear, or how are you running your EC2s, how they are fluctuating, what kind of reports you can create and curate by yourself.
Jonas.
Yes, Joseph.
We have a quick question. So Andreas asked Fargate versus EC2. One is very convenient with 0 maintenance. The other is cheaper, but requires server management. What is your take on this?
If I would have to answer the question, well, the question was already answered there. The pros and cons were mentioned. what I see from the customers, how they utilize these both services with containers is that mostly if the workload is not persistent, if it's not running 24/7, then it makes sense to use Fargate. If the container is running all the time, it will be not that much of a hassle to have an EC2 machine running and an orchestrator to put containers on the machines. It will be quite a bit cheaper. So if you have the technical capability to support that, I guess the EC2 is an obvious choice there. But if your containers are intermittent and you cannot predict their usage, Fargate is the best option. Good. Yeah, let's get back to the slides and yeah, budgets. I mean, the budgets are so trivial and easy to understand that it's bugging how many customers don't do budgets in AWS. Setting budgets is simple, however, rarely done in the wild. And we strongly urge you to do so and get notified whenever unexpected costs might hit you. So you better know that in advance than after the fact when you meet your AWS bill. There also is a recently introduced feature called auto adjusting budgets, and that eases the process of budget creation even more. I recommend you to try that out. In it, AWS will dynamically recalculate your budget spend for each month, taking into account your specified time range. So if your spend is increasing, your budget will increase too. If your spend is decreasing, your budget will decrease too. So it's a very, very convenient way to have not a fixed budget, but that works together with you hand in hand. However, budgets can also be fixed or planned, where you have all the power to punch in the numbers and plan when and how much you would like to spend during each period. Resource tagging is another very useful best practice that can help you make sense of the chaos your pile of resources is becoming. It acts like an index that sorts various seemingly unrelated resources into common categories. Sure, right resource naming can be a shortcut for a while, but tagging policy, or even a forced tagging policy, goes miles further. And you can tag pretty much any resource there is, starting with IAM roles, EC2 instances, S3 buckets, and finishing with budgets, and NAT gateways, or even VPCs. So the resource you see, most probably it can be tagged. And so consistent tagging of resources lets you filter them in Cost Explorer, find abandoned resources easier. It's much easier to clean up after some project or POC was done. So very much recommended, and recommended by AWS as well. Next in line is the Cloudwatch anomaly detection feature that can be enabled on specific metrics. So this feature uses statistical and machine learning algorithms to determine the baseline, which is normal behavior, and then detects anomalies with close to no user intervention. Once the Cloudwatch would detect some kind of anomaly, it can fire an alert or some Lambda function to take immediate action. So this detection, once it had sufficient prior usage data, can account for seasonality changes happening hourly, daily, weekly, etc., and also works with metrics that are flat and don't fluctuate much. So here are some images how anomaly detection works. Here you can see anomaly right here. So there was some sudden spike, so anomaly detection kicked in. Here you see anomaly that started a few hours before it should have. So some changes have been made. Here are some sudden spikes that, for whatever reason, happen. You can take that information and investigate. Also, there is like a trending metric that some things grow over time, and you want to see whether no spikes no spikes happen there, and as well as flat metrics, that if some metric would spike and go back real quick, you would be notified by anomaly detection. Okay, so up until now, we talked quite extensively about the EC2 service. However, there are ways to save on other services too. And for example, with minimal effort, you can make use of Amazon S3 intelligent tiering feature that will automatically manage lifecycle rules and object movement across different tiers. And this is all done while retaining the S3 hallmark 11 nines of durability. And if a particular object is not frequently used, why pay more than you have to? So fun fact, since the feature launched in 2018, it was already saved over $250 million on behalf of their customers. So the savings are huge in this. And my last note here, that tiering shouldn't be hard, and thankfully it is not. The next thing on the savings list must be CloudFront. It is a CDN service that helps to deliver your content all over the world faster, more secure, and cheaper than delivering straight from S3, EC2s, or other resources. For starters, you get 1 terabyte for free per month. There is CloudFront Security Savings Bundle available to bring the cost down by 30%. And if that wouldn't be enough, by joining Cloudvisor, you can save 50% off on-demand pricing by choosing our Save Resell benefit. So not bad, eh? Joining Cloudvisor Resell organization brings our customers an instant discount of 3% on all their spend in AWS. Also, as I've already mentioned, 50% off standard CloudFront. What is more, Cloudvisor knows ins and outs of AWS credits system, and thus we help our customers to apply and get credits. First batch is provided directly to Cloudvisor to cover starting expenses, while up to 100K credits can be provided by VCs, accelerators, and similar organizations through startups like that. And we know quite a few of them and help customers and their current investors make best out of it. So get in touch with us to learn more, and we will be very glad to help you out. Yeah, it seems that this is it from my side. Should you have any questions, I'm still here and will be ready to answer them. I hope you learned a thing or two new that was new to you. So yeah, I had fun presenting that, and yeah, hopefully that didn't take too long.
Thank you very much, Jonas. Yeah, as Jonas mentioned, if you still have any questions, please feel free to still post them in the Q&A section or in the chat, and we'll still answer them for you. But yeah, now it's time to announce the winner of the very cool Powered by AWS t-shirt. Now our algorithm has chosen someone, and the winner is, drumroll, Jonas. There we go. The winner is Michael Cassidy. Michael, congratulations.
That's Michael.
We will be in contact to get your t-shirt to you. So thank you very much for joining in. I see that we do have a few questions. Oh, Michael just saying thank you. Thanks, Michael. Okay, so that is it from our side. Jonas, if you can just go to the next slide, please.
Yep. This is the questions slide. So
yeah, just thank you again for attending. And yeah, as Jonas, thank you very much for presenting all the great tips on how we can control our costs on AWS. So please remember to look at the benefits packages that Jonas also mentioned. And those benefit packages you qualify for when you switch your billing to Cloudvisor. I will share that link with you, and we'll also share this presentation with you, as Jonas has included a lot of very valuable links that you can yeah, use to read up further on the topics.
Yeah, sure. Also, you can contact us. We're very happy to provide some feedback, consult you, help you out in AWS cases. So yeah, that's our job. Yeah, we're still here for a few minutes. So if you have any questions or some part of the work of the information was not very clear, yeah, I'm here to clarify that at the moment. Patience Aminu says, please can I, but I don't know what.
Yes. Yeah,
yes,
Patience, if
yes, you can.
Yeah, feel free to type out that answer.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, Jonas, let us end the workshop. Everyone, thank you for attending. Patience. Yeah, we will be in contact via email with you to answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for being together with us. And yeah, I think we'll see you in the next webinars.
Indeed. Okay, goodbye.
Okay, have a nice day. Goodbye.